Hello again. Thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the new fantasy adventure epic from Netflix, Maya and the Three, directed by Jorge Gutierrez. This series, yo. Okay, but before I get into what I especially like about it, I didn't know quite how I would feel about this just from the first couple of episodes. Mostly because the main character and the storyline seemed pretty basic. What I mean by that is that we have Maya. She is the princess of the Kingdom of Tekka, and she has what I'm going to call princess syndrome. She wants to be a peasant. She doesn't like having all the safety and security and advantages that pretty much we all would love to have, but no, she just wants to wrestle luchadors in fighting pits and, I don't know, just be regular people. So at first, like, oh, she doesn't want to be a princess. She's very arrogant. She says so many cliche, like, teenager lines in the first episode. In the first episode, by the way, they mark her as 15. She's 15, getting ready to assume new responsibilities and whatnot. But she doesn't want any of this new responsibilities nonsense. She just wants to be a normal person and have fun. Also, with the narrative, it is set up by a prophecy. The Lord of the Underworld wants to sacrifice Maya to obtain more power and become, even though he's a god, even more powerful. He wants to be a more powerful god. But there's that word, y'all. There's that word, prophecy. Prophecy, narratively, is a built-in spoiler. If something is set to happen according to prophecy, then you don't even have to really think to yourself, well, is this going to happen? Yes, very much so. You're establishing a world with very fixed rules and very fixed fates. So, okay, the first couple of episodes really didn't win me over. And yet, give it a chance, keep watching it. And so, okay, the character Maya goes through different episodes and she learns some lessons and they kind of smooth out her personality, to where she can't necessarily assume that she's always right. She can't have things her way. She has taken a lot for granted in her life, a lot of the advantages that she's had. And, with her friends, Chimi, Rico, and Pichu, her companions, that she finds out that she has to gather in order to do what she's meant to do. Okay, we're going to get back to that in a second. But as she finds and recruits the titular three to accompany her on her quest to thwart Mictlan, the god of war, and prevent the prophecy from happening. As she meets and recruits her friends, she learns lessons that, as I mentioned, even out her personality. So as you watch it, and I was almost ready. First episode, I said to myself, I don't know about this. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like. And then I gave it a chance. And I'm glad that I did. It's a very satisfying watch. This epic adventure quest fantasy show really works with, one, it's very allegorical, in the sense that, as I mentioned, Maya learns lessons and she improves as a character. So it goes from something more of a fixed prophecy story where the characters are pretty much just going through the motions, and the hero's journey is a lot more mature later on as the series moves along. And especially because it's not exclusively Maya's story. Every episode opens up with a little bit of backstory about the characters that are introduced, or the characters and how they played into upcoming events or previous events, to give the audience a better understanding of what to expect, and also a better, more comprehensive view as to how all of these events and elements and characters came together in a much fuller way. So I do appreciate that. So once again, it starts out a little bit rough for me. As it goes along, it improves. The characters are very likable. And a lot of the characters call out Maya on her baggage. And I appreciate that. Also, now, the main thing that I love about this show is the Mesoamerican aesthetic. I thank Jorge Gutierrez and your entire working staff on this show. You did a magnificent job. Wonderful, wonderful. I love it. This is the kind of project, and it could be a movie, it could be a TV show, whatever, but with this level of craftsmanship, this is the type of show that will inspire younger audiences to pursue art, to pursue animation. Like, just, it's done so incredibly well. You could say that this is an inspirational series because it will inspire the younger audiences. Like, wow, it's so beautiful, and it's so fluid, and it's so creative and culturally vibrant, y'all. It is something to behold. There have been shows that have a very unique standalone aesthetic quality, and this one is so, as I mentioned, vibrant. It is so good. I highly recommend, just for the art design alone, I highly recommend this series. It does a fantastic job. And that was one of the things. When I was on the fence, am I going to stick with this? Am I going to talk about it later on or not? As I saw more of the art of this world, I said, you know what? I'll keep watching just to see different characters, just to see what they do. And just the designs of the various kingdoms. You have Tekka, you have the Golden Mountains, the jungles, the village on the moon, like all of these different like places and landscape, and they're all unique and just so beautiful. They're just so beautifully done, y'all. So and then you get to more of like, you know, a heavenly realm, the underworld, and it just keeps going, and it just keeps getting better and more interesting, just on aesthetic and design quality. So Maya and the Three, as I mentioned, it's fairly like, and I feel like I've given a few things away, and I usually like to keep these spoiler free, but yes, it is an epic fantasy quest. So I would say give it a view. Give it a view. Stick with it, like, because I'm a stickler. I've been around. I've seen a lot. I've read a lot. I've done a lot. And so, okay, there's some story tropes. Okay, this is gonna be. I know what this is. I can see this coming from a mile away. And yet, you know, one thing I will say is, like, for younger audiences that haven't seen and read and watched and all this stuff, it's not gonna bother them at all. You know. But also, just the way that there are character dynamics that interplay with certain intrigues in the show. Once again, spoiler free, so I'm not going to go too far into that. However, it is not what it sets up itself to be. What you assume at the very beginning as to what it is going to be, it is not. And I was very appreciative of that. So, once again, I would say give it a chance. It's very beautiful. It's exciting. There's so much action per episode. It's incredible, and the characters grow on you. If you don't like them at the outset, trust me, they grow on you. Everybody has these really great qualities, you know, and just they work together so well. The character and the cast, the voice cast, you know. I can't name everybody that we have in this simply because it's a giant roster. We have Zoe Saldana. We have Gabriel Iglesias. There's a lot, and there's so much, like, there's so many talented voice actors and actresses in this. Cheech Marin, Alfred Molina, Rita Moreno. She's still working, y'all. Oh my gosh. Just this living legend, Rita Moreno. She's in this and she does a fantastic job, y'all. So anyways, before I begin to repeat myself too much, Maya and the Three, it's the new Netflix fantasy adventure series. Please, y'all, give it a chance. I believe you'll enjoy it. Anyways, thank you very much for joining me here on Movie Ninja. What do you guys think? Have you seen it yet? Are you gonna watch it? Have you already watched it? And what are your thoughts? I'd appreciate hearing it in the comments below. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.